Let's do this. Let me make sure I can hear myself. Yeah, boy. All right, let's go back a screen. I think I can hear myself. Should be able to hear myself. Oh yeah, we got it. All right, very good. Hello, happy New Year's Eve, all my fine aviation enthusiast friends. Welcome back to the double feature airplane show tonight. We're gonna do the hardest landing in the world on our second flight tonight. Now, before we get into this, I just want to take a second and thank everybody for all their support this year. I didn't really expect anybody to watch these videos or like them, and that's not true. There's a fair amount of people out there that have enjoyed the videos, enjoy the commentary, enjoy learning about the airplanes, and I really do appreciate everyone who has made this a very fun year for me to do this. Hopefully, we can continue to build our little network here that we got going on, and continue to have fun and start flying some incredible airplanes with the new simulator when it comes out later this coming year and all that. So I just wanted to thank you again for making this year a very fun year for me. So let's go out with a bang for 2024, and let's do this here double flight. And let's go into New Delhi, fly from New Delhi to Kathmandu, and then we're going to go from Kathmandu to the hardest landing in the world. So we will see if we can do it. I'm pretty sure we can, but I've never tried it before. It's going to be a harrowing experience, nonetheless. That's for sure. All right, let's come down here to New Delhi and get a good spot to take off. Now we're taking off from runway 29 right tonight. So I guess it'll probably be this one here, I would think. Let's go ahead and let's just park right in the center here. Let's go to gate 205. Let's just park right in the middle. And we're gonna leave live weather on, but we're gonna make it, we're take off somewhere in the morning time. Let's try like 7 o'clock. All right, let's go, baby. Yes, thank you very much for all your support this year. I certainly do appreciate it. Hopefully this will be a fun experience doing these two flights back to back. So we'll take this 738 actually, and fly to Kathmandu, land, go back to the main screen, load up to ATR 72, and then take right off for our challenging landing. Oh man, it is still like nighttime here. All right, let's change that up a little bit. I guess we can leave this like this for now. So let's let me turn on some lights real quick. So when we do turn on the plane, we'll have lights up there. Let's come up here. This light. And let's go down here to the pilot side and turn this one. A little bit of background, a little bit of that one. Turn this one down a little bit. And let's do this one over here. And I don't know if I've ever flown this livery, so I'm going to make sure everything is cool with the settings, because this is just the house livery. I don't have a livery that really would work for this area of the world. So let's click on and let's go to setup. Pretty sure it's going to be okay, but I just want to double check. Land OP. We have those 3 buttons. That's good. A lot of glide scope to capture. Well, that's not going to really play into it today. We're not going to really be doing anything with a glide scope. What is our transition level today? 5,000 feet. So let's change that. All right, we got the heads-up display going. All that looks good. Very good. Let's go to displays. All right, kilograms. Make sure we have failures on. Random service-based failures are on. Go to options, and all that is good. It looks like we're good. 8x speed. All right, that's still good. And let's change this and change that back. For some reason doing that actually makes it work properly when we go to start taxiing. All right, actions. Go ahead and we're just going to load up everything from here tonight. We're not going to call the trucks over and all that. So we need 76.57 worth of fuel. So 76.57. So let's just say 7,700. Turn, and our payload for tonight is, we have 124 passengers. Let's do 10 first class and 114 in economy. Our cargo is 3.1, so let's do 1,000 in the front and 2,100 in the rear. All right, that's good. Let's go get the airplane turned on now. So let's go ahead and put the battery switch down. And let's activate the airplane. Actually, let me pull this up on YouTube so I can hear, because I turned the mic down a little bit. And I just want to hear what my voice sounds like versus this. So bear with me 1 second. Let me just double check this. Let's see. I think that's okay. It's really still very loud compared to the airplane. Let me give me 1 second. Let me just play with something real quick. Audio. Let's try that now. Let's see how that goes. Testing my voice right now versus the airplane loudness. Let's see what it sounds like when I come back. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, let's run with that for now. All right, let's finish setting up this airplane. Sorry about that. I just wanted to see how change the microphone a little bit, so I wanted to make sure everything was okay. All right, let's line up our ARS. Align this, put that on nav, the right side on nav. Turn on our anti-collision lights. Come down here to the FMC. Let's start inputting our information in. Let's click clear. Let's go to position initialization. Who's in it? Next page. Click on either left or right, doesn't matter. And click on this right button here. Now that is all set. Let's go over to here. I don't like that. Let's slide over actually. And let's finish setting up our weights. So PMDG setup. Actions is what we need. All right, services. Let's go here. Total of 7,700. Good. We have 124 people on board tonight. And in first class, 114 in regular area. All right, we got 1,000 here and 2,100 here. So that is all done. And should be closed. All right, very good. So actually just sit on this screen here. Let's go set up our flight plan. I have VIDP. KT. Our flight is Mama. All right, and for our departure, we are going to be starting on runway 29, hopefully. And probably, I guess this one's close enough. Let's see here, does it have? Okay, that's fine. Let's activate that. Let's go to the next page. Again, the route information. So we have airway of G452. You know what? We might need to put the date back a little bit. G452. She just doesn't have the new AIRAC update. All right, well, whatever. Go ahead and put in LKN. Okay, and LKN is North 26 and 17.4, so that's good there. Let's see if it has our next airway, G598. It's got that. See if it'll do G452 again. Now that we have that. That's fine. So let's click it's MR for our SMR. Enter. And let's go ahead to departure arrival. Let's go to our arrival. We're actually going to be doing we could do this one. Our DM2. This is our transition here. And we are doing the SMR arrival route. 2 legs. And let me see if I can input one waypoint in between Ollie and, let's see here. So we got Pavru, PAVRU. See if I can put that in after L. So I gotta click on Lincoln for that. So here we go. All right, very good. So that's done. Get rid of this discontinuity. That's all good. Let's bring over our weight. So let's test our weights to be brought over. Let's click load. Okay, our transition altitude is 5,000 feet. That in there. Cost index tonight is 7. Fuel we're using is 7.4. And our cruise wind is 271 by 9. Go to this cruise page and plug in our altitude. We're cruising at 35,000 feet. Okay, let's go to send and plug in our forecast. So we have 31,000 feet. 20,000 feet and 10,000 feet. 31,275 by 8. 73 by 39. And 229 by 2. Very good. And our transition level again is 5,000 feet. Oh no, this is now 15,000 feet. Let's plug that in. FL10. Very good. Back to go ahead and set this for 30 degrees over that. So let's to take off, and you hear the slope of the runway that we are leaving on tonight. This morning is negative 0.4. Winds for this runway are so leaving at 283. A headwind would put us at 103, so let's do 103. 2 knots. The page. Center of gravity is automatically calculated. Yo, what's up, my man? And let's try flaps 5. Yeah, you know, I got kids at the house, so it's not much for me to do. Like I'm not going out tonight because I got kids at home, so why not fly, right? So we're gonna do this one flight to Kathmandu and then jump in another plane and see if we can make the hardest landing in the world. From what I understand, that landing is the hardest. So we will see. But yeah, I took about a 6-hour break, I guess, from the last flight to this flight. So all right, so it's starting to get light outside. Let me contact the ATC to make sure we can actually take off on this runway. Ignore the weather. And let's take off straight out. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you know, I didn't always have time to do this, but now that the kids are a little bit older and I don't need to be as hands-on with taking care of them, it's definitely a lot easier, that's for sure. So I got to change our takeoff in Navigraph. So actually, we can do this together. Let me give me a second. Let me unload this on the iPad and I'll switch screens real quick. Let me pause this. And let's go into Navigraph. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Can't see it. There's no point of doing it. Yeah, you guys can see it. Okay. All right, let's wait for Navigraph to pull up here. And I got both of the flights here, but let's go ahead and since we're taking off on runway 10 now, let's go ahead and change our departure. My laptop is a little cranky sometimes. It doesn't like to be messed around with sometimes. All right. Let's give it a couple more seconds. It should be fine. Okay. So this is not going to be compatible with our departure, but we need to choose runway 10 now because that's what the ATC is telling us. So let's choose runway 10. Come on, let's go. All right, and let's see what is compatible. Alley 6F. So we can add that to the route, I guess. All right, let's see. All right, so that's good now. Let's go back here and make this full screen again. All right, so let me now pull this back up on Navigraph, and then we will go ahead. Yeah, I remember them days. I remember them days. Getting hammered and coming home and then trying to sober up. Absolutely. Why is this saying that I got an error message? Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm getting an error on OBS saying that YouTube is not receiving. If it's not Microsoft messing up, it's got to be something else messing up, right? When it comes to my streams, it's always got to be something. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys still got it. Okay, it's just an error message from OBS. All right, let's go down and change. Got to change a couple of things now. So let's go to Archer. Choose runway 10 now. Yep, I know takeoff speeds are deleted. That's fine. Let's go Avru to here. Make sure our cruise altitude is still 35,000. That is. Now let's go back to takeoff. And we need to go to this screen now. We need to adjust a couple of things. So slope of this runway is now 0.46. And the runway winds are still calm, but a headwind now would be 284, so let's do 284 by 2. Back a screen, and all right, now we got our, everything is good there again. Okay, and what is the altimeter right now? It's 30.9, so let's set that. All right, let's put on the EPU so we can back up and get our engines going so we can get up in the air. So we're going to put that fuel pump on. Start that. And our bleed on. This up to 35,000. And our... I hear you, buddy. And our landing altitude is about 4,400. We can turn on the yaw dampener now that the IRS is aligned. We can turn on the window heat. Turn on the probes. Turn on the electric hydraulics. EPU generator should be ready to kick on any moment. There we go. Let's turn this on. Arm the emergency lights and turn on the seatbelt. Alright, so let's check out our flight plan. I haven't done that yet. Let's make sure everything looks good with that. So let's come here and let's click on legs. Let's click on step a few times, make sure it all looks good. Not a long flight tonight. Both flights are actually pretty short. I don't want to be here all night. I do want to actually let loose a little bit, because we are going to have some people over closer to midnight. So, all right, let's see here. We got map. Bring that in, and we're going to put GigaChat on the map side. And do we have any constraints with the takeoff? We have to be under 10,000 feet for GUGEX, so let's leave 10,000 feet in there. And the heading for this runway again was what, 204, I think? 104, what the hell was it? 104. And our V2 speed was 146, so add 15 to that. We got 161. Turn on our flight director on both sides, and let's back up. So we can now, let's make sure our parking brake is on. And let's go ahead and release ground power unit. And remove the chocks. And let's get our tug set up. And we need to go nose to the right, I believe is what it is. So let's click start.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready for pushback. Tail to the left. Release burning brake, please.
Brake fuel on the center tank. Nope. Dude, I always wanted to know what the future was like. That's awesome. What part of the world are you in? I imagine you got to be over somewhere, you know, in Asia or Middle East or Indonesia or somewhere out there. If it's already 2024. Let's put our parking brake back on.
Brake set.
Let's connect the tug.
Roger that. Ready for pushback. Tail to the left. Release burning brake, please.
And the tug should be gone now. Go here and go to takeoff here. And let's go to legs here. All right, let's turn on engine number 2. For N2 to get up a little bit. Oh man, Greece is awesome. One of my best friends growing up was from Greece. That's a beautiful part of the world, man. Absolutely. Very cool. All right, that engine is doing good. Put our brake on for takeoff. At least taxiing, at least. Let's put our generators on for the ground. And now we can put the isolation valve on auto, and we can now set our packs to auto. We can start pressurizing the cabin. Yeah. I hear you. I think it was only one. Well, no, I growing up, I had a few Greek friends, but like later in life, I really just had the one. But yeah, growing up, the school I went to, there was a fair amount of kids from Greece. Well, they weren't from Greece. Their parents or their grandparents were from Greece and then migrated to the States. But yeah, man, I'm a big fan of a lot of the Greek mythology and Greek food. And that's cool, man. That's amazing. Like I'm sitting here in the U.S. I talk to people from all over the world. It's amazing. Like, I don't know. I just think like technology is pretty cool that way. Nowadays, you can be in any part of the world and talk to anybody. All right, let's go ahead and put our taxi lights on. We're ready to taxi. I live in Maryland. For now, I'm looking at potentially moving to, I would like to move to Florida or Texas at some point. Yeah, I've been in Maryland my whole life. Let's turn the parking brakes off. And let's get rolling to the runway. Live in Maryland. I've lived in Maryland whole life except when I went to college. And then I toured around quite a bit when I was younger with the band that I was in. So, but Maryland's always been my home state. This landing at Maryland is a pretty small state. It's borders up to Washington, D.C. and Virginia. Yeah, where we live is pretty peaceful. But a lot of the major cities, it's like a war zone a lot of times in a lot of the major cities across the country. A lot of crime, a lot of looting stores, a lot of robberies, a lot of drug use. So out where I live, especially the part of Maryland that I live in, it's pretty safe and pretty peaceful. You go half an hour north to Baltimore, or, an hour south to Washington, D.C., and it's like a war zone there most of the time. Probably somewhere up north, I would think, like Wyoming or Montana, Idaho, somewhere up in like the northwest, just because it's like there's so much land and country in between cities and it's not very populated. But that's how it is right now. A lot of the the illegal aliens that come into the States, the millions of them that we get per year, they usually get funneled to some of those states because there's so much open space. So, it's just going to happen when a population increases. More than likely, crime is going to go up as well when there's more people. that part of the country is beautiful. Montana and Wyoming, Colorado. It's got these huge Rocky Mountains and these just miles and miles and miles of just flat ground, and there's a lot of wildlife that lives out there. Borders right up to Canada. Yeah, that would be a good place, I think, to retire to. Like if you're okay with cold weather, that would be a good place to retire. Oh shit, you gotta slow down. All right, let's go ahead and turn on our strobe lights and our landing lights. And we can put down the heads-up display now. And let's go ahead and arm the auto throttle and arm LNAV and VNAV. And set our range a little bit to that, and let's turn on traffic. Let me check the barometer one more time before we go. Yep, 30.9 is okay. All right, let's get out of here. I've flown to Kathmandu one time. I've never flown to airport in Nepal. That particular airport I've never flown to. Yeah. Well, New York is okay, but it's like pretty much every major city. Like every major city has big buildings and good restaurants and things to go see. But when you go out into like the middle of nowhere, I mean I hear you. Whenever I go on vacations to places that I've never been before, it's okay to go to the touristy spots, but I like seeing a lot of the other areas too, that most people don't go to. All right, we are right on point. Put up our first set of flaps. Put our nose down a little bit, and we can engage the autopilot. There we go. And let's lock our gear. We can take our parking auto brake and put that there. And we can put our flaps up now all the way. This up. Change that for our descent later. Before we land, we're going to come into this section here and input the runway information and change the mode so that heads-up display changes for approach. Yeah, me too. Every big city I've been to, whether it's every major city I've been to, whether it's in Europe or America or the islands that I've been to, every major city is about the same. Let's put a standard pressure. Every major city is about the same. Tons of people, a lot of restaurants, shops. There's a lot of things to do. But man, I like going off the beaten path and going to places that are quieter and more have to do with nature. And when I was younger, I was big into like doing a lot of outdoor adventure kind of stuff. Yeah, see, that's interesting. So the chart I'm looking at, it has Gugex for our next waypoint, but this has Maddox. Yeah. I'm wondering if this is still running. This has got to be running on the old AirX system. That's why it doesn't have the up-to-date waypoints. That might have been why I couldn't have done that ILS landing today, because it doesn't have the up-to-date information. I don't know if I can look up that old info in Navigraph. That's weird. Yeah. I lived in Baltimore City for a while, and it's just so noisy. And yeah, I hear you. Do that and turn off that. All right, let's plug in 35,000 feet. 36,000 actually. It's 36,000 feet that we're going to. 35,000. Yeah. It's your mama. It used to be Ho 123, but for some reason it won't let me type in Ho anymore. So if I'm not doing a real flight, like this is just made up. So yeah, I usually use your mama. I like hearing it from the ATC when it calls the airplane. I think it's funny. Yo, mama, you are not cleared for takeoff. Yeah, this is a different waypoint than I'm showing on the chart right now. So I think this is still the old navigation preferences, like the waypoints and all that. It hasn't been updated, and I wonder when Microsoft's going to come out with the update for this. That was a big reason I couldn't fly the A310 for a while, is because of the navigation compatibility. When we pass this waypoint, we'll go ahead and we can do altitude hold right now. And once we pass this point coming up here, we'll go ahead and VNav again, and that'll put us back in our climb mode. Come on, airplane, let's go, baby. Once that, there we go. Now we can click VNav again, and we should go back into climb mode. Let's see, is it going to start climbing? Yep. All right, very good. I didn't use real time. I have live weather on, but it's I put. I wanted to take off in the morning, but no, it's not. It might be morning time in India right now. I have live weather on, but I chose my own time. Not sure what time it is in India. Well, India, I think, is maybe 5 or 6 hours ahead of ETC time. 4 hours behind that, so it's probably pretty close to the real time in India right now. landing tonight, so it's a localizer landing, so we're not to descend on our own, but have a VOR station to line up with, though. And then the one for Newport Airport, the one in I don't even know what that part of the world is called. Let me see here. I know it's Nepal, but let me see what VNK2, yeah, Lupo, Nepal. Yeah, that one, there are 0.0 charts available for that one. So that one is going to be pretty much visual. I have an idea of how to go. I have the route plan, so I kind of know how to go, but the last 10, 15 miles of the route is just going to be visual. So hopefully the weather's okay for that, because it might be a little tough. After that landing I did in Aspen the other day, the one in Switzerland, I think it was. Yeah, I usually keep all that stuff on around 35 or 50. Yeah, I don't know. I might get a Series X this year, depending on how work goes. I'm in the middle of finding a new job. I lost my job about a week and a half ago. I mean, the price that I got on the Series S, I couldn't. It was like $200, $250 with 1 terabyte of storage, and everything that I saw, almost everything I saw online, video-wise and reading material between the X and the S for the simulator here, it seemed like they were both pretty equivalent with running it. So I saved about $300 by getting the Series S, but that's the first time I've done something like that. Usually I get whatever the top of the line is, but I guess I was sold on the S based on what I saw. So I'm happy with the performance. Like, I don't usually run into issues with traffic and data. The only time I've been running into issues with is the world updates and the world scenery updates and the screens on those planes for some reason. And I don't know which world scenery update it is. It might just be one of them that's the crux of the problem, but certainly those world scenery updates have been killing all the Garmin screens and all the digital screens on every plane. That wasn't the case up until, that only started like maybe 3 weeks ago. Microsoft came out with a patch. I'm not calling it an update because it didn't update anything for me. But that patch that came out, after I downloaded that patch, that's when I started getting all those issues with the screens. Before that, I had everything on max everything. All the world sceneries downloaded, max traffic, photogrammetry on, like everything on. Everything worked perfect. And then that patch came out, and ever since that patch came out, it's been really difficult to feel confident with a lot of the airplanes unless I turn off certain features, which sucks. Because I like the realism of some of these things, the traffic and the ground vehicles, and like, I think that's really cool. And not being able to do that, really, for me, takes away some of the immersiveness, I guess, of the simulator. It's still fun. It's just takes away from me. It takes away some of the realism. I like when I'm flying a plane and all of a sudden the traffic light comes on and traffic is on the intercom. Like, I'm looking outside trying to find the airplane, and looking on the screen trying to figure it out. This company here, PMDG, I've been very happy with this airplane. They make like 4 of these different 737s. They make like the 600, the 700, the 800, and then they make a 900 as well. I this plane is always on point. Like, I've never had any issues at all. Their deliveries are great, and everything has always been consistent with this airplane. Even when other airplanes have had issues, this one's always been a rock. Yeah, I know there's a new Xbox coming. I was reading about it. There's a new PlayStation 5 coming out too. There's a PlayStation 5 Pro coming out. I was a big PlayStation fan for many years. This is the first Xbox that I bought in probably 20 years. And I actually bought this one by accident, to be honest. I was on the fence between an X and this S, and I was on Microsoft's website playing around. I thought I clicked the button to see what the payment plan from PayPal would be for it, because I was going to pay for it over like a month or 2 months. PayPal was going to let me break it out over 4 payments. So I was like, yeah, Series X for like $140 every 2 weeks. That's not good. So that's what I thought I was clicking on, and I wound up clicking the purchase button. The next thing I know, I was at the screen where I had my confirmation for the Series S, and I'm like, damn. I was a little upset that I first ordered it, but after using it now, I mean, I'm very happy with the Series S. But yeah, there is a new Xbox coming out next year. That is true. I'd love to get a gaming PC, but those things are so expensive, and the components are so expensive, and there's always new components coming out. I have other things I'd like to sink that kind of money into. Stuff for my kids, music equipment for the house, and certain things for the kids as well, that I'd be more comfortable sinking money into that. I can kind of justify that more than something for me at this point. All right, let's miss out a little bit. And where are we at versus the top of our climb? We have 38 miles. We got 405 miles to, we might be speeding this up a little bit. Go 8 times speed with PMDG. Let's wait till we finish our climb, and then we'll speed it up a little bit maybe. Yeah, we got about, I think we have like 5 consoles here. We have 3 PlayStation 4s. My daughter has my son has a PS3, a PS4, PS5, a Nintendo Wii, and a Switch. My daughter's got a PS4 and a Series S, and then I have a Series S and a PS4. So, yeah, it's crazy. I had the same PS4 for probably close to 10 years. I think 8 years I had that PS4. I think the original PS4 I traded in for a new one for some reason. I can't remember the reason why, but yeah, I mean, I ran that PS4. I cleaned it a lot too. I would take it apart every 5 or 6 months. I would take it apart and blow out all the dust and take care of it. I think that's why it lasted so long. But some of these newer games, man, it was working so hard to try to keep up with the demand of the game. Like, the fan was always on high speed, and I always felt like the PlayStation was just going to give out because of how hard it was working to play some of these newer games. But this Series S, I'm telling you, man, this, I don't know how the X is as far as like quietness and heat and all that, but this thing, I never hear anything out of this Series S, man. It generates a fair amount of heat, but yeah, man, you got some goodies too. I had a PS2 a long time ago that I really enjoyed playing Guitar Hero on it. There was a Metallica Guitar Hero that came out on that thing many years ago that I loved playing. Back then I was married, and my ex-wife decided to throw the PlayStation 2 out because she thought it was taking up too much space. That was right on the time we got divorced too. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I came in from work and I took a shower and I went downstairs and I was going to play some Metallica, Guitar Hero, just like 2 or 3 songs just to kind of, let loose a little bit, before I went to bed. And I went downstairs. I'm like, where the hell's the PlayStation 2? I said, Samantha, where's it at? She's like, oh, I threw it out. It was taking up too much space. I said, what? I said, it's a fucking PlayStation 2. Like, it's like it's smaller than a VCR or a DVD player. I'm like, Jesus, Samantha. I was mad, dude. That was a while ago. That was probably 15 years ago. So I've been divorced now for 10 years. I have full custody of my kids now for about 8 years. But yeah, I couldn't believe she threw that shit out. But yeah, you got a lot of equipment too. All kinds of PlayStations, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, Series S, yep. I don't know. I don't know if she was jealous because I was giving the PlayStation attention versus giving her attention, or if she was just throwing it out just to be spiteful. I don't know. She's not, she's definitely not right in the head. I mean, anybody who gives up custody of their kids and never sees or talks to them again, or never sees her family, like she doesn't talk to her parents, her siblings, anybody. Like, she cut everybody off because she found a guy with money. And the guy with money was like, you can either have me and my money, or you can have your family. She chose the money. But yeah, she's not right in the head. I don't know how anybody threw out the PlayStation. I'm like, damn, Sam. I'm like, you didn't have to throw it out. You could have just like put it in the closet. I would have put it in the trunk of my car. I could have taken it to my office. I could have put it at my parents' house. Or, like, there's a lot of places that thing could have gone instead of trash. Like, it wasn't in our trash. Like, she threw it out to where, like, I couldn't find it. Like, she wouldn't tell me where she threw it out. So, we're pretty much at the top of our climb. What does it say here? Yeah, that's important. Absolutely. I mean, gaming may change for you as time goes on. Like, I went about 10 years without really playing a lot. Now that my kids are older and I have more time, I've been playing a lot more. Especially now the games have been getting better and better. But yeah, certainly, life is certainly better when you're with somebody that you can have fun with. Absolutely. Because you spend so much time with that person that, you need to get along with them. There's no sense of being with somebody that always arguing or you can't have fun with. All right, let's speed up just a little bit, just for a few minutes. So we got about 224 miles into our descent, so let's click this little button here and go into 8x speed. That's going to slow down when we get about a half a mile. I kind of have to stay in this camera position while it's in its sped up mode. Otherwise it slows down because the outside has so much trouble rendering that quickly that, which might be a Series S thing. Like, if I had the Series X, I'm sure it would render a lot quicker, but we'll stay here just for a few minutes after we pass this waypoint and it starts speeding back up again. Pretty soon this is going to start flying down this number here. There we go. Yeah. You can actually go 16x in this airplane. You can go 16 times speed in this airplane, but the MDG kind of frown upon that too. Like, that's not such a good idea. Once we get close to our descent, we'll set up everything for our arrival. Yeah, there goes the mileage ticking down again. why it's having so much trouble tonight speeding up. Usually it speeds up pretty good. There we go. All right, well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and program the heads-up display for our landing. We're back here. So let's come here. We're going to click the mode button once. That puts us in visual mode. And I think the I is for like ILS, but this mode I like for landing, so I don't really know what the IMC means. I think the V is for visual. Let's click on runway. Let's put the runway's elevation. It's 4320. Click enter. And let's put the length of the runway. It's 10,085. Yeah, I can't wait for that 777 to come out, man. That's going to be an awesome plane. PMDG, like, I don't need to see reviews on that thing. I'm good day one with that one, just based on this airplane alone. All right, and let's plug in our VOR station for our landing. 108.1. Let's do it on this side too. 108.1. Let's slow down a little bit here. Let's get ourselves out of that mode. And plug in our approach course tonight, which is 22. Anything from PMDG, I will get day one. I'm good with that. Just Flights, Aerosoft, Inabuilds, PMDG, those four companies, if they launch something, I'm okay first day. Everybody else, I'm gonna have to wait, see what's what. Yeah, really the only differences I've seen between those two planes, I used to fly those two a lot in Aerofly. And really, I mean, the only difference is really just how you input, like the FMC is different. And like that little tablet in the Dreamliner where you can input your information for takeoff. Other than that, like everything up top is almost identical. All the other buttons are almost identical. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think, and there's a 380 that's being built as well that should be out. This should be out soon. And there's an A350 that's coming along as well. So between those three and some of the smaller planes that are coming out, it should be pretty good. There's one plane I bought like 2 weeks ago. Like, you have to do regular maintenance on it in the simulator, otherwise things are going to start breaking. It's this Piper Meridian. It's FS Reborn 500. It's like the name of the plane. Yeah, you're right. Pretty much is the same plane. You are right about that. I'm wondering, so this plane does RNAV landings really well, and we have an RNAV approach available, and we have a VOR station. I'm wondering if I tune that in and click approach, I'm wondering if that'll do a glide path and bring us down automatically. I'm going to try that actually. Let me plug in that number there. So that's 113.2. because this plane does RNAV landings exceptionally well. And I'm wondering if it'll, because a glide path is very similar to a glide scope, it's not as precise. I'm wondering if that'll bring us down or if we're going to have to descend on our own. Let's quick altitude hold. Get ourselves out of VNAV. And let me see here. I don't have a chart for our landing. Let me see if I can, for our arrival. Let me see if SMR. SMR Raton. Let me see here. Narrow, RNAV. It's weird that I don't have a chart for the arrival. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sometimes planes are so buttery and smooth, and then you jump in another one, and it's like you're fighting it the whole time. Yeah, I know what you mean. SMR, we need to be at 15,000 feet. Let me make sure that that's the case. Yeah, see, that's not good. So let's do 247, 15,000. And Guras, we need to be at 11.5, which is where we're at. So let's speed up just for a couple of seconds because we're pretty close to the top of our descent. Let's just go 8x just a little bit, just ever so gently go into 8x speed just for a few seconds. We get to about 50 miles out of our top of descent. I'll take us out. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, my man. I've had many times with this simulator where I really thought about erasing it. I've never played FSX, but this one here, I've had plenty of flights where I'm coming in for landing or I'm descending and at like 11,000 feet, all the screens shut off. And I'm like, damn, like I'm already 2 hours into the flight. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've been there many times wanting to erase this thing, like quite a few times. I really hope two features they put in 2024 is a rewind feature, so you can go back and watch part of the flight, and also a better system to fast forward the airplane. A lot of times, the reason I don't do a lot of long hauls in here, the reason why it's a lot of trips that are like 1 to 2 hours, is because there's no effective way of fast forwarding. You know, they have this travel to feature, but that thing is terrible. I've tried using it a couple of times and it never worked for me properly. It's always put me at the wrong altitude, too far away, too close, like just, it never worked properly. X-Plane and Aerofly have a really good system. I mean, X-Plane, you just drag the plane where you want it on their map and it goes right there, and Aerofly, you just go back to the main screen and put your plane wherever you want on the map, and that's where you start off at. The cruising part, I mean, I would love to cut out a bulk of the cruising, but there's no way to do that in this simulator unless you have something like PMDG where you can go 8x speed. In the other planes, I'll go 2 times speed with the simulator's sped up feature, but it's you have to be careful with that system, because if you don't remember how fast you're going, it'll be really tough to get back to normal speed. And then also, when you're going in for like turns and things like that, it doesn't slow down. It just makes a super violent, like really sharp turn or descend. Or in this plane here, it'll slow down before the waypoint. So you make a controlled turn and then it'll speed back up again. We can probably put ourselves back in VNAV mode. When we get within a couple of miles or so, we'll have a little deviation grid here and here. We go over to the GigaChad side, set him up for descent as well. We're going to go to plan and then, go to map, click on the center button twice, and now that puts his screen in this mode here. So when we start descending, it'll show us the angle and waypoints and all that. Oh my God, exploded mid-game. I've never had that kind of experience before. That's crazy. What kind of game you're playing where your laptop explodes? That's crazy. It's been a hell of a game, dude. Sitting there playing it, and all of a sudden the thing explodes. That's crazy. Probably look back on it and laugh now, but I'm sure at the time you were really pissed off. You still might be pissed off. Maybe it happened like last week. I've never flown with this livery before. Cool. We'll make our landing in Kathmandu. Taxi over to the gate. And then, I don't know, might not even taxi to the gate. Might just quit. And then get the ATR loaded up and open that thing and import the flight plan from SimBrief. Start that plane up and get going. That was a while ago. Man, that's crazy. I've never had any device explode on me before using it. Phone, laptop, nothing. It's crazy. It's probably a little scary too. You know, being that it explodes so close to you. One thing I've always worried about with vaping, that I've always, I hear those stories and see those articles that come out where like a battery explodes, but usually it's user error when it comes to something like this exploding. It looks like we're getting ready to begin our descent. Oh yeah, I guess I should put a different altitude in, right? let's catch up to our VNAV. I'm sitting here talking. I completely forgot to change the altitude. Let's go down to 15,000 feet. And once this icon gets a little closer to the center, we'll put VNAV back on. Our required navigation performance is 400, and then our actual navigation performance is 154. Put this one on legs. Set up our approach. And let's go to progress. And let's go to this screen here. Yeah, we're 700. Well, we're catching up. Yeah, oh, I agree. That's why I've never had a PC, a gaming PC. I just spending that kind of money and then always having to update it. Dude, I didn't click level change. What the fuck, man? Oh, bitch. I didn't do that. Jesus Christ. Hang on a second. Jesus Christ. Fucking nosedive into the mountains. Yeah, I've never seen the benefit of gaming PC. Always need to get new components coming out for it, and just I've never really been that big into like gaming where I really cared about ultra high graphics or super high frame rate. You know, if I play a game and it works good, I'm good with that. Doing this now, playing this simulator, I'm now more in line with wanting to have something that runs really well. For the most part, like I've never really cared about, you know, how good the graphics are. As long as the frame rate was pretty good and there was no glitches and everything ran pretty good, I was happy. Yeah, some people, they need to have the highest PC and the newest graphics card. And, yeah. Maybe it's fun putting those things together. I'm sure it's kind of fun in a way putting all of those things together, but putting the different components in and learning about it and researching. But so we're going a little fast, but we are at the correct VNAV altitude now. So let's go ahead and go down a little bit. Yeah, you're right about that. Absolutely. There's been so many times I've seen reviews or YouTubers, you know, reviewing a game, and it's like, you know, on PC, and they just have so many issues, you know, with starting the game or the game crashing or, you know, using too much memory and you can't run anything else. I don't have that issue with PlayStation, Xbox. I just turn it on and start playing. Graphics may not be as crisp, and it might not be, you know, always 60 frames a second, but I got no real complaints. I've never seen the value. Personally, myself, I've never seen the value in gaming PC, that's for sure. So we should be doing better now. Now our VNAV is good to go. I do want to put in 0.3 per hour. required performance. For 0.6 of a mile is our actual navigation performance I have in here. 0.3 miles, so it's usually what an RNAV landing has in there. Usually they have like 0.3, 0.11, or 0.9 something for the requirements, but I'm not sure if we're going to be landing that way or not tonight, so I just put that in there. "20 feet high, we're doing pretty good." Oh yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah, most of the time there's problems. It's just just continues, like it almost never gets fixed. Yep. Absolutely. Now, I will say I have seen people that have had like certain setups, like cabin of a truck, like a 18-wheel truck or a cockpit, of an airplane, where they have like their home, like they actually built like the actual cockpit, or they built like the cabin of a truck. Like having a gaming PC for something like that I can understand. Like if you're going to really be immersed, in this and try to make it as real as possible, that's one thing. But most people don't, that have a gaming PC, in my opinion, they don't need it. Let's go ahead and spend $500 and get a PS5 or a Series X or whatever you need, and just plug and play. That's with a lot of these cloud-based games now, like that Xbox Cloud. I mean, that thing is great. Before I had the Xbox, I was playing the simulator on my iPad for like 6 or 7 months this year. I was playing Microsoft Simulator on my iPad, and the thing was running great. I was just playing it right from their cloud. See mountains in the distance, closer to Everest. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be right around 15,000 feet at SMR, which need to be at 15,000 feet, but a little fast. Yeah, that's funny. You're right. Adjusting the gamma, the gamma coloring, and the inputs and all these other things, and setting up key bindings and all that. And meanwhile, you're finished. That's funny. Yeah, that is very true. It's very true. That is very true. Yep, you're finished up. Everything's good on your end. You're still getting the key bindings set up. And adjusting the saturation level, and it's funny. Absolutely. So, we're stuck on which kind of landing. I'm going to try that RNAV landing. So we have the VOR programmed in. When we get to Guras, I'm going to click approach and see what happens. It's coming up after Ratan. Let's plug in 11.5. I'm very curious if that's going to be able to do type of landing. And RNAV Z. That's interesting. The RNAV approaches are, you need to get clearance for those. It has an AR next to the, in brackets, it has AR, which something about prior authorization or something like that. It's interesting. Oh, that's a weird landing. Jesus Christ. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, he spends all that time setting everything up, getting the game absolutely perfect, and then he goes to start it up and it crashes. It's funny. It's funny because it's true. I know people like that, and that's funny. I think we'll just stick with the localizer landing tonight. Let's just stick with this one here. That is funny, my friend. Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, our transition point was what, 15,000 feet. What is the barometric pressure here? 30.18. Let's click standard and let's put in 30.18. Let's click approach down here as well. For some reason in this airplane, the icons for vertical and latitude, they show up much earlier on this display here for some reason. "9,000 feet is next." I usually ride that air brake a little bit until the engines try to kick on, and then I'll turn it off again. And let's do a little speed intervention here. Yep, I know what you mean. Buddy, I already landed, man. What are you doing? Oh, I'm still in the setup screen. So our VOR station is not showing up. Well, actually, our localizer is not really a VOR station. tempted to put some flaps into the equation and drop our speed to, we got to go down to 214, so let's do that. Let's go down to 214, and let's put our first stage of slats in. So let's go slats 1. And we should probably turn our landing lights on since and we can adjust our cabin pressure. See, now I'm curious, like if I click on, let me try this. Let me see if I click on approach, if that'll do anything now. Yeah, see, FAC and glide path. That's what I'm looking at here, FAC and glide path. I'm wondering if this thing will, is this glide path icon here, I think is going to capture and change this to glide path. And that's essentially very similar. Glide path has been picked up. And I think we need to switch this over as well. Yep, FAC and glide path. Very good. So what's our landing altitude tonight is around 4,400. So let's just plug in 4,400. Very good. And let's adjust this in a little bit and change our speed now to 205. Yeah, so this glide path now should bring us down all the way. The only thing I worry about a little bit is these mountains. Like, I think we need to be over 7,000 feet. So we're about 8 miles out. Let's see, I may have to it's cutting it close. Wow, look at that. I've never seen that before. All that shaking and shit. So our nav landing has us going around mountains, but I think we're going to be okay. I think we're good now.
Too low, terrain. Too low.
Yes, I know, buddy. You're very close to the terrain. Dude, you can shut up now, man. We're not that close anymore. Thank you. Let's put our gear down. Set this to 140. 39. Yeah, I did. I came real close to taking manual control for a minute, and yeah, that was close. The VOR landing has you coming in higher, and then after that mountain it has you going down quite a bit, and then continuing a regular descent. The RNAV landing, like we're doing, you're supposed to go around that mountain, but we didn't do that. We just shaved it. It's a simulator. I figure what's the worst that can happen? We crash? Okay. I'll just start the next flight then. Like, it's like, you know. Oh yeah, let's put our heads-up display down. since we changed it, now it looks like this, and it's much better for landings. Everything is much cleaner. This is going to be right in the middle of the touchdown zone, and it's got all the pertinent information that we need. You can certainly, if you have this airplane, you can put it however you want. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, usually you got to go around the mountain. The landing I was looking at, they just have you going straight over it and then kind of diving a little bit after the mountain and then continuing on a regular path. Of course, I'm getting a phone call. Let me mute myself. All right, let's land this sucker. And
50, 30, 20, 10.
the glide path doesn't really take you down all the way. Or it wasn't taken into consideration the pressure that we have outside. But we're here. All right, so part 1 is over. We're in Kathmandu. Give me just about 3 or 4 minutes to make this phone call, and then we'll be back for part 2 with the ATR flying it to Mount Everest. Okay, we're back. So I had to make a quick phone call. My mom's birthday is at midnight, and she was calling to let me know she's home from the party that she went to. So, all right, let me pull up the next flight. And I think this flight should be ready in the airplane when we go there, because it's the last one that I pushed. Yep, you too, man. Be safe. Yeah, we got a couple hours until midnight, so I'll do this flight. It'll take about an hour. Some people will be over the house here pretty soon, and then, yep, I will see you on the next one, my friend. What does this Highline one looks like? I've never used this one before. I think it's only, yeah, it's only got the one livery. Thank you. I will tell her that the whole nation of Greece wished her a happy birthday. I will let her know. I got a lot of liveries for this one, but none of them for this part of the world. So I was planning on just doing the basic livery for this airplane tonight. I don't think any of these really... EG, FedEx, Firefly. Well, you know, maybe we can pretend FedEx is going there. Maybe we'll pretend that FedEx is sending up, you know, we had to send equipment to the people in the, you know, that are in Mount Everest. Yeah, let's do FedEx. We'll do FedEx. That's a good idea. All right, let's come over here. Let's choose our airport. Yep. Yeah, she's always had, you know, her birthday's always been on New Year's Day, so she's always had, you know, a pretty good celebration, you know, for her birthday. All right, here's the little airport we're landing at tonight. Here's the airport we're taking off from. ENKT. Kathmandu. There we go. Yep. Birthday's always been on New Year's Day. She's always had a pretty good sized party because of it. That's large. Ramp 1. Yeah, let's do ramp 1. And let's do... Yep, see you, my man. I'll catch you on the next one. Sleep well. All right, let's do... And we're going to turn off... Well, should I turn off live weather? Let's leave live weather on for now and see what happens. Your mama should still be in there. Yep. All right. Very good. All right. Let's get round 2 started. Let's see if we can land this plane. Let's see if we can land this ATR 70 Deuce. The hardest airport to land at in the world. In the world. That's the most, that's the hardest. Take one last bit of my medicine for the night. Oh boy, let's see here. A little piece of it and put it under my tongue because it has to dissolve. All right, so we have this emergency equipment we need to deliver to airport close to Mount Everest. There's some hikers up there that their gear fell off the side of the mountain and they order new gear, and we need to make sure it gets there in time for them. So all right, let's come over here and import our flight plan. It should be the correct one. It is. All right, very good. So let's come over here to payload. And actually, before we do any of that, let's go ahead and see if we have any kind of, I don't think we have any kind of ground. Let me see if we have ground power available. Oh, we do have ground power available. All right, very good. All right, let's open up the main door. And let's go ahead and turn on battery. Turn on that ground power unit and that ground power unit. Turn on the nav light. Arm trim our emergency lights. And all right, so that is good for now. Let's wait for the screens to come on. Let's go ahead and set our airplane up. So let's click on flight plan. Let's click on set flight plan. That's going to push it over to the FMC. Set our fuel. And let's set our payload. That should be correct from what is in SimBrief here. Yep, that's the right amount of fuel. And let's check our takeoff weight. 22.1. Yep, that's close enough. So let's go to payload. Let's go to load aircraft. And fuel is 2147. Start loading. All right, and load aircraft. All right, that's good. And set takeoff trim. All right, let's go here. Let's come down to here and let's set up our flight plan. So it's a pretty simple flight plan. We're just entering in runway and our departure. Now that's interesting. I don't have any of those transitions. I have egress. Let me look at the chart. Oh, I got it. Shit, which one do I want? Kimchi, I think, is what I want. Yeah, I want Kimchi. Okay. That, and let's click execute. And we are landing on runway. There really is nothing to choose there. Okay. All right, that's good. And let's see here, performance initialization. Our cruising altitude for tonight is 12,500 feet. 12,500. Wrong spot. There we go, 12,500. Go to weight. That all looks good. Go to return. Let's make sure our position is in it. So let me see what our longitude and latitude is. 27.4 and 85. Okay, so it's this one here. Now that's good. Nav data is fine. Flight plan is fine. Performance initialization, that's good. And units. All right, so we're pretty much all set up there. And now let's go ahead and come down here. Go ahead, final cockpit preparations. Yep, that's fine. Park and brake is good. Altimeter set and check. So let's set our altimeters up. Currently 3018. See if the altimeters here have anything. 1021, that's close enough. So let's set 3018. That's what it is in Navigraph. You know, I'll stick with what they have here. What do you have? 1021. Let's stick with this here. Oh, that's close enough, actually. Okay. So that's good. And let's see here. Landing altitude, we're going to leave that automatic. Fuel quantity's okay. Landing elevation's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. And power management is on takeoff. All right, that's good. CDL's on, so let's lock the cockpit doors. That's good. Takeoff is confirmed. Trims are fine. Tail prop on board. Let's get our tail prop on board. Let's close the main door. Let's get rid of the wheel chocks. Park and brake is on. Doors are closed. Seatbelts are on. Let's turn on the beacon lights. Right, let's go next. We just did that. All right, let's get our engines on. So let's go ahead and set this to start AB. Let's click run, and let's click start. This gets up to about 10. Let's put this on feather. You know, I think they are off. I don't know for sure. I think they are off. I've never done multiplayer with this, so I don't know for sure, but they might be. If you're trying to find me and you can't find me, then they probably are off. Let's start engine number 1. Yeah, I think they are off actually, because well, you know what? Let me look at the settings real quick. Pause this. I think I do have it off. Let's see here. No, it's, yeah, I am offline. Here. Yeah, I have it turned off right now. But, you know, next time I play it, I can turn them back on. I'm going to leave them off for this flight, but I can turn them on next time. All right, that's good. We can move these up to auto now. All right, this is good. That's good. 1 and 2, and turn this off. All right, we need to move our throttle up just a little bit. That way the TR light, that way we can turn on the TRU. If you don't do that, if you don't move the throttle up, then the TRU light's never going to come on. All right, we can turn off the ground power now. Let's put on shield heating. Let's remove the ground power unit. And let's, we're almost ready. Let me do this here. Let's set our takeoff data. So let's come down here. Let's click on this button here. Let's turn our transponder on. ECAS is automatic. All right, nav is good. Traffic above, weather, terrain. Let's do terrain. That's more important than weather, I think, for this flight. And okay, so that's all good. Now let's take off. Let's confirm our takeoff data. So let's come here and let's confirm our takeoff data. Engine out. On takeoff. Automatic. Yeah, automatic's fine for that. Get all the different. Make sure everything's performing properly. All right, everything looks good. So let's put ourselves in this mode here. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so this is good, this is good, it's good. Let's put our flaps down to 15. That's good, that's good. Or taxi. Just did that. Taxi lights. Oh yeah, we got to talk to the ATC actually and get our clearance. They always give us the opposite runway. Now we got to change that. Well, let's finish setting 12,500. And let me change this in Navigraph so I can see what our new departure is going to be. We're going to do EGRI 1D. So let's set that up now. All right, let's click on this. Let's click on runway 2. And EGRI 1D. And KIM-T is still going to be our transition. EGRI 1D. KIM-T. ENPL. We have to put in a waypoint here. I can type in VNPL if it'll let me do that. If not, it's okay. I have it on Navigraph. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, no problem. All right, let's go ahead and put our taxi lights on. I guess we could put the rest of our lights on, actually. All right, everything else is good. Let's confirm our takeoff configuration. Let's release the parking brake and test it out. All right, it's good. If we weren't good, we would hear this. We don't hear anything. All right, but we're good though. All right, that's good, that's good, that's good, and that's good. Procedure and before takeoff. All right, let's go ahead and taxi out. Logo, strobe, taxi, wing. Gotta get all this equipment to the hikers. All their gear fell off base 3. All their gear fell off, so gotta get this equipment to the airport so the Sherpas can take it back up to the hikers. Let's click nav, and we're gonna do flight managed for the speed. Off briefing, gust lock off. Oh yeah, we can do all that when we get to runway. heading up to Kathmandu. 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 I think there was a song from the 70s. It was called Kathmandu. I thought it was from Creedence Clearwater Revival. I swear that was the song. Before I was born. Long before I was born. I'm getting old. I'm 46 in a couple of months. It's crazy. So we're gonna take off, and we need to start veering off to the right pretty much immediately. Well, we got to turn around there, buddy. Go to the end and make a big U-turn and then finish getting set up for our takeoff. A few things we need to do to finish getting this plane ready for takeoff. All right, the heading for our takeoff is 22 degrees, so let's set that up. All right, that's all set up. So this will be the third difficult landing I think I've done this week. I did Aspen in a huge snowstorm in the very beginning of the week, I want to say it was. I just did one to Ambri, Switzerland, I think it was, or was it Austria? Might have been Switzerland, but that one was crazy. That was a crazy hard landing. I had to go around a mountain, and then as soon as I went around the mountain, I had to line up for the arrival. I mean, it was crazy. You go around a mountain and you have a half a mile into the runway. All right, let's slow down. Let's put our brake back on. All right, takeoff briefing is done. Turn the gust lock off. That's right here. Flight controls are good. That's good. Boost function. That's good. Cabin crew, lateral bar, rudder cam. landing gear up, flaps, power management on climb, engine bleed, and I mean, those kind of take care of themselves. We don't really need to adjust anything up there. Right, we can know we're leaving. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and we should probably put this back up. All right, let's release the parking brake. And let's give it some juice. Pull back. Positive rate. We can go ahead and raise the landing gear. All right, let's click IAS and autopilot on. Let's go into climb mode. And we can put our flaps up here momentarily. We are all set. I want to say almost half of the flight we're going to be, oh, I guess, no, not half. The last, like, third of the flight, we're going to be flying in heading mode. After Kimchi, which is our last part of this flight we're doing, I can't plug any more waypoints in other than the airport. But I have it on Navigraph. I have the direction we're supposed to go and the mileage, so we will be okay. Get ready and switch over to cruise mode. Set now. This flight. There's not going to be much of a need to descend runway because the runway is about 9,400 feet in the air and we're cruising at 12.5, so when we see it, you know, we'll probably start our descent then, but you know, we'll need to be in landing mode soon when we see the runway. I would think. I've never tried landing here before, so I don't know how this is going to go. I would like to think it's going to go well. I've only crashed once in like the last few weeks. I was at Aspen in a snowstorm. My first time trying to do it. So when we pass Kimchi, we're going to fly 17 miles at 86 degrees. And you know what I'm half tempted to do actually is turn off. You know what, I guess I'll leave live weather on. I was going to turn off live weather, but I'll leave it on. Let's come here and it's for takeoff. All right, so approach we have, oh yeah, what's our 7 degrees, so we don't really need any icing equipment. So it looks like around 110 to 115 is going to be our landing speed tonight. coming up on our last waypoint, Kim T. After Kim T, we're going to go 17 nautical miles on a heading of 86. To be honest, I don't usually get nervous, but I'm a little nervous today. I don't usually do first time flights on stream. Usually I practice it a few times. I guess I could just follow this flight plan that they have here set up. Let's just follow this, because there's no real way for me to keep track of the mileage. Looks like this flight plan just has us going directly to it. Yeah, that should be okay. There's no reason to slow down yet. We still got 27 miles. to increase our altitude a little bit, I think. We're going to fly this thing in manually from here on out. At least try to. Landing gear at. There they go. Wow, look look at this thing. Jesus.
Terrain. 500. Sink rate.
Oh, shut up. I know. Is the runway right in front of us? I think it is. Wasn't sure if it was angled or not.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
Like the flight plan Navigraph had better. We weren't coming in so fast.
Sink rate.
Yeah, actually, let's go around. No! Oh, we crashed. All right, let's try one more time. This time we'll just start right at the runway. We'll get it this time. This time I'm going to follow the flight plan that I had from Navigraph. Because it didn't take us over those mountains directly, it took us around those mountains. And that gave us time to descend instead of coming in nosediving like we just did. All right, and also let's turn off the ATC as well. So that's done. Let's import our flight plan. Set the flight plan. Set fuel. Set payload. Move the aircraft up. This is 2147. That's good. And set takeoff trim. That's good. Is our parking brake on? Parking brake is on. We can move these up all the way. Let's go ahead and do way 2. Do an Ingram 1D and Kim T. Let's set 12,500 again as our altitude. All right, let's click on nav. everything else is good. Do need to set a couple of things up here though. Let's click on Nav. All right, we'll just set it on normal. Let's do terrain. Transponders on. Okay, very good. All right, let's take off. And we're gonna do managed speed mode for now. Barometer we'll leave alone. Actually, we probably should put the barometer in. What does it say here? 1021. Let's set 1021. And let's go ahead and take off. So release the parking brake. And we're going to do this again. Let's go ahead and we didn't confirm our takeoff data, but it's all right. We are up in the air. Let's put our landing gear up. Let's click IAS and autopilot. And now let's put ourselves in climb mode. Put our flaps up. I'm going to turn live weather off, I think. Now we don't have to worry about the barometric pressure either. Set that back to standard. Yeah, the flight plan that I have in Navigator takes us around those mountains. I realized that flight plan that is in our system now. If I knew that was going to take us directly over those mountains and then we'd have to dive, I would have never have done that. That was my first time. Let's see if we can. I mean, we had it lined up. We probably could have landed, to be honest. We were coming in about 60, 70 knots faster than I would like to. We're going to stick with here, where we're going to go around a lot of these mountains. One airport we saw, Fatlu. That's how my flight plan in Navigator has us going right for that and then turning. Just wish there would be nice if there was a VOR station there, but there isn't. that's our airport over there. This is the airport that we're going to fly to, and then start making our turn towards Lupa. That's Fatlu over there, and I think that's could be our runway over there. Before it took us right over these mountains. That was not good. I'm going to stick with what I think we should be doing. Actually need to go up a little bit higher in altitude. 13.5 would be okay. According to what I'm looking at here, we're gonna be flying over the mountain that's 12,200 feet in the air, so all right, that's good. We can put this back on cruise. we can lower our speed a little bit now. That makes me feel a little better. Kim T is coming up. Stay in LNAV mode for a little bit. Heading mode. We're going to fly on an 86-degree heading. Actually, we can stay in nav mode a little bit longer. Once we pass MT, we're going to fly on an 86-degree heading. Till we reach the airport of Phaplu, Nepal. And then from there, we're going to turn on a course of 51, ride that for a few miles, pick up this little river, and then fly for another 6 miles. And then we should pretty much be right at... We're going to fly through this ravine, and that's how we'll get to the airport. That makes much more sense to me than what they tried to have us do. Let's actually switch into heading mode now. And like I said, once we get past Kim T, then we'll go ahead and turn on a 86 degree course. We got about 3 miles to Kim T. Let's go 86 degrees. See, there's Faplu right there. When we get there, we're going to turn on there's a 51. We're just going to follow that little ravine right in. There's going to be a little river. It looks like a little kind of cutout. Once we turn on this 51-degree course from Faplu, we're going to pick up a little river, and then we're just going to follow that river on into the our destination. Passing, wait till we pass it, and then we'll plug in 51 degrees. There's our airport right there. Yeah, this is much better. There's that ravine I was talking about. All right, let's go ahead and fly this thing manually. I'm just going to treat this like a bush trip, like I do when I'm doing the bush trips from the activities. I'm going to visually land this thing. See the runway. this in takeoff mode. Yeah, coming through this ravine is much better. Now, this reminds me of a bush trip. If you have the access to this simulator and you have access to world sceneries and stuff like that, they have these bush trips, and it's a lot of them are like this, where you're flying through mountains and landing on these little runways.
Terrain. 500. Sync rate.
Oh, well, maybe we'll do it again another day. That's it. I got people getting ready to come over. So we crashed. We kind of landed, but we kind of crashed. But I think if I did this a third time, I think I'll be good. And I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do a redemption flight tomorrow, and we're going to land at the hardest airport in the world tomorrow. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Happy New Year. Thank you for making this a great year for me. I really